It's hard to explain what I like about it most. There's a lot of thrills in it. It's just good fun for me. In fact, I like getting hit nowadays because I know I can take it. I don't think of myself as a hard man. I'm just someone who's got a good heart and can take punishment. I first heard about cage fighting, it must have been in the mid-90s. There was a big thing in America called UFC, which is the famous one now. But in them days, it was like Karate Man versus Kung Fu, Jiu-Jitsu versus like boxing, for instance. It's a combination of all forms of martial arts going together in a ring of combat or a cage. Kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, it's all in there. And you have to be able to do at least some of these aspects to be able to compete and survive. I remember watching it on a tape my friend had and thinking, my God, that is just lunacy. You couldn't pay me £1 million to go in there. And I never thought in a million years that I would want to do it and have fun doing it. Very strange. I just stumbled into it really by accident. 6 years ago now it will be. My friends were going to a jiu-jitsu class and for weeks they were badgering me to come down and we're going, it's a good laugh, come and have a go, it's fun. I was thinking, I don't fancy it really, I'm quite lazy, it's not my thing. I went down once and I was hooked. 3 years ago I decided I would have a go at maybe fighting. So I started training harder and more like complex. Started doing weights and fitness training and stumbled into fighting. The fight I'm doing in November in Carlisle is promoted by a man called Mark Hodgson.
Hi, you alright? Can you talk?
He trains out in Workington, the Hokushinku, I think it's called, Fight Academy.
What we're gonna make that what like a title fight. Cage Carnage title, so what I'll do is...
I've fought for Mark 2 times and he seems a good promoter, a very nice man, fair man, and he puts on a good show.
We've got some group fights for you. We've got some cage boxing title fights, so I hope you enjoy yourself.
I'm at the moment the only promoter that puts a show on in Cumbria for some reason. I know I expect there's going to be more.
Yeah, and it all starts now. Thank you.
When I first started off, MMA wasn't involved in this area. I started the gym off, I got people involved, got people fighting. People say to me, why are you doing it? Well, if I don't do it under a controlled environment, people will just go out and do it. Yeah? It's like banning things. If you ban things, they just go underground. And people think because it's a cage, you know, and they associate with animals and they associate with bear baiting and dog fighting, and I'm saying, well, I've never watched dog fighting. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch bear baiting. In MMA, it's all controlled. They shake hands after it.
Close races. 30 seconds.
It annoys me when people say it's like Bocce on a Saturday night. It's nothing like that. We don't have any drink, you train. In fact, it stops you from drinking because you want to be super fit, which you have to be. Now, how can that be like a drunken thug, which You know, these people are training really serious because they want to achieve things in the sport. No thumbs. I love it because it's my passion. Martial arts is my life, and I do it 7 days a week. And it's my job, you know, and I basically live in the gym. And I'm lucky that my wife doesn't twine at us either, because she does as well, because she's a 3rd Dan black belt. So, you know, it's our lives. Something I started as just as a hobby is turned into my life.
I don't like missing a day of training. If I do, I get stressed out. I get trained by a man called Stuart Hall.
12, come on. 13. 14, again, that's one. Come on, push.
It's quite a hard lifestyle, really.
We train weights about 5 times a week, cardio 4 or 5 times a week, between 3.5 and 5 hours. Jiu-jitsu a week, most nights, weekends, train twice on a Sunday. Come on, up. Good, okay, done.
I do my best, try as hard as I can. That's all I can do.
If we don't ache the next day, obviously I've worked hard enough.
If I'm not trying hard enough, he tells me.
Come on, speed up. Keep going. I think last 30 seconds of your fight, let's go. Come on. When Paul first started training with me, he couldn't do it. And now he's used to it.
We train very hard all the time, and I think when I come to a fight, I should be training harder, and he's got to tell me that we train hard enough as it is.
He's not one of these lazy people who's had a fight and they go out on a drink, and his last fight, he got home 2 o'clock in the morning, he'd won the fight, he was back down here, that fight with me in the morning. You know, so that's dedication, isn't it, Paul?
My diet for the fight is just pretty much my diet, full stop. I haven't got a particularly excellent diet. I wouldn't go to a regime or anything counting calories and all that. I just try and eat quite well all the time, no junk foods really. Just about every week I'll watch a few fighting DVDs just to pick up a few tips, see if there's any like new manoeuvres I can learn. This is the last cage carnage in Carlisle when I fought Neil Fraser. He almost got butted for that there, the cheeky scum. Basically, I'll just charge out and have a swing at him. He's scared, he keeps running away. See, the crowd are just baying for blood, they haven't really got a clue what's happening. I got accused of biting. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, huh? What? Getting sweared at by the crowd now. He's using his head on me, this filthy... I don't like dirty fighters. I like using his head, filth. He's lucky I never bit him. Bloody cheat. You don't mind watching these, do you? I'm trying to teach you about the sport, really, because the more she knows, the less, nervous she gets when I fight. My family and friends think... Well, a lot of them think I'm a bit of a maniac, really, because most of them don't know about the sport, and they know me as being a non-aggressive, non-fighter type, and they find it quite hard. It took a long time for them to accept what I did. My father doesn't like it in particular. He thinks it's brutal and savagery, but he won't be told.
This Cage Carnage will be my eighth show. I think there's about 12 local lads fighting against people from all around the country, Coventry and, Burnley, London. As soon as I'm here, I can hit you. I've got a lad called Cal Ward who's fighting the very first time. You all right? Yeah? He's going through a lot of emotions, what's it going to be like. And he's fighting a lad from Coventry that's coming up who's never fought before again.
James! You waiting too long, knees to the body! What's the news?
It can be a brutal sport if you're not prepared for it.
Put his guard down! Put his guard down!
But my job is to prepare you for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Break down, baby.
Hey, push that shoulder in his head! That's it! Hey!
One of my sayings is that you train the way you fight and you fight the way you train. The more you sweat in the gym, the less you bleed in the cage. If you want to be a good fighter, you've got to train like that.
Taking too much punishment!
Shock, so, see what I'm saying? How it takes the fucking steam out of you when you get headshots and your fitness. You think you're fit until you take a few shots. And you got the animal at the end and you're apologising for having the fucking animal, both of you. Instead of growling, it's the only way. You don't apologise for having the animal, somebody's whacking you in the fucking head. That's what it's about, it's fucking cage fight.
Who's next?
I never get nervous before fights, which is a very odd thing. I tell people that I've never been nervous before a fight, and a lot of the time they don't believe me, but it is the gospel truth. I've never once had any butterflies or anything, sweating palms and nothing before a fight. I'm sure that's quite uncommon. There could be something wrong with me mentally, I don't know.
Okay, lads, are we all ready for rules meeting?
There's a hell of a lot more rules than people realise. Probably more rules than you'd get in boxing, for instance.
So, we want to keep it safe. All right, Christmas coming up. Don't want to be all be in hospital over Christmas, right?
You can't stamp on people, you can't, like, obviously bite them, scratch them. You can't break the fingers or the toes.
I'll start at the bottom with the amateurs. It's 3 3-minute rounds. Obviously, there's no headshots whatsoever. Obviously, you're allowed to kick and punch and knee to body and legs. Let's have safe takedowns. Up kicks will be allowed in semi-pro, as they should be. If they're on 2 points and they're stood over you, yeah, you can kick them in the face. Obviously, if they're on 3
Professional,
points, a knee.
anything's allowed, within, obviously, reason.
All right, there's no elbows.
There's a lot of rules, it's a lot to remember. The famous win in a fight is knocking somebody out, and you can like submit them, which is basically means making them give up with like various locks, elbow locks, like knee locks, shoulder locks, and you can choke people unconscious as well, which sounds quite bad, but it's not as bad as it sounds.
When's your last fight?
About 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that. 95% of fighters will not go out to injure their opponent. They go out to win and win only.
You were there then, yeah? Alright, how you feeling? You alright? What was your last fight?
I've recently found out about this man called Carl Ward that's fighting out of Workington. He fights out of Mark's Academy, and he's fighting on this show.
T-shirt.
I think it's his first time fighting, so it could be a baptism of fire for them.
Just get a bit closer. That's it, so it's a good face-off.
Psychologically, I suppose I'll have to prepare myself best I can. It's going to be my first fight. There's a little bit of nerves there, but stuff like that, I'm just mainly concentrating on keeping my mind concentrated and not sort of like thinking about it.
Face-off. Provide.
Well, I'm not one for talking down to opponents and looking to trash talk people, but I personally think I can beat this guy very decisively and take him out of there in certainly the first round.
Good.